Hey guys, what's baking? It's Myst, and that felt weird because usually I say what's cooking. But today we are baking and we are doing some sugar cookies. These are super soft and delicious and very easy to make, so I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, today we are going to be making some sugar cookies. These are super easy. I thought it would be a great, nice, easy little recipe to throw on the channel. And I need some snacks in the house anyway. I am one of those people that always forgets to buy snacks. I buy, when I go to the grocery shop, I'll buy like pork chops, chicken, steak, veggies, rice, pasta, all that stuff. But I will always forget the little treats, right? Which I guess maybe is a good thing, but doesn't mean I don't want some treats. So we're gonna make some sugar cookies. Okay, so you can see we have our ingredients here, which is 3/4 cups of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, which I still have to go get, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a half teaspoon of salt. So you want to get yourself a bowl, and we are putting the butter in there. And also the sugar. And you can just stir it in. You don't need anything special for this. You could just use a regular spoon for this part. Okay, so you're just stirring it until it's smooth. It's pretty smooth now. Okay, I'm gonna grab a whisk, but if you have a hand mixer, use that. I have to go buy a new hand mixer, so we're just gonna do it this way. So now your 2 eggs. And your vanilla. I don't know if you guys see that, but vanilla. Actually, I think I'm just gonna stir it in. We'll be fine. Yeah, so if you're doing this without a mixer as well, you can just use a spoon. It's not a big deal. I've actually made tons of baking things without machines. When I was younger, machines are pricey, right? So that's how I did it. And then I eventually grabbed machines. And honestly, they don't really taste any different. It's just easier to make with a machine. But as far as taste, I've made my baked goods as good mixed by hand as with a machine. Okay, that is very smooth. So this is basically what it should look like by now. It's very smooth. Okay, so now we have our salt, our baking powder, and our flour. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a little stir. so it's pretty stirred. I just like to smooth it out a bit. Okay, so you can just grab some saran or anything to cover. Okay, so just cover your bowl up, and that is going into your fridge for at least an hour. You can set it overnight, but I want cookies as soon as possible. So we're just gonna do an hour. But yeah, as long as it's at least an hour, don't bring it out any sooner than that. Okay, so now you can clean up. Not too much of a mess. This isn't really a messy one. But yeah, you can clean up and go do whatever for an hour, and we'll be back in an hour. Hey guys, we are back. It's been a little over an hour. I'd say closer to an hour and a half now. And we're ready to get our dough out of the fridge. I'm just going to flour this surface. I'll move my vape. So hopefully you have a bit of a bigger surface than I do. I don't have a whole lot of room in this kitchen. This kitchen's like the perfect size for cooking, but when it comes to baking, there's not a whole lot. There's a lot of machines in this kitchen. So yeah, I've thought about putting a table, like a little workstation in the kitchen, but there's just no room for it. Unless I put it like right in this section, but I'd have to move it all the time. Yeah. Okay, so you just want to flour up your surface so that it's easier to roll out your dough. And of course, grab a rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, I have done this when I was younger, before I grabbed baking supplies and stuff, before I started getting into buying stuff like that. I was doing it by hand. You just got to be very careful, and it's just a little more work by hand. So the dough's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna do this to it before we lay it out. Okay. See if we can add these little pieces to it. Okay, so you can just flatten it with your hand to begin with. Okay, and just roll. I am gonna put some flour on here. See if I can scoop some up here. Okay, that should help us a little bit. I don't like mine too thin, so I don't want to really roll it out too much more than that. Okay. And also you can preheat your oven to 400 Fahrenheit while you're rolling your dough. And you can also get a baking sheet. Okay, my phone decided to just randomly stop, so What you did miss was me using the cookie cutter. And now we have the baking sheet. Now you can't see me because the camera's pointing towards the pan, but I like to use a fork just to pick them up with because they can easily break. Okay, so there's one. And you don't want them too close to each other. Okay, so we still have room for a couple more on my baking sheet. I actually had a couple more, so I had cut them perfectly. You can see I have 2 stars there, but they kind of broke. So we are gonna bundle our dough back up and roll it back out. You could easily, like, this is more than enough dough for a lot more than 2. But I only want to use 1 baking sheet. Okay, so we'll just do that. And we don't need to roll it too much because we only need 2. Okay, that's good enough. We only need 2. Okay, so what we have the least of? We have 2 stars. Okay guys, so you have your oven preheated to 400 Fahrenheit. Your cookies are out and they're cut into shapes and all that. You can now put those in the oven for 8 minutes. Okay, there's our final product, guys. Not the best decorating I've done, but I had to do it quick because we're having some serious recording issues today. My phone, I think, is maxed. I gotta start deleting some files off of it. Yeah, because it's telling me that I've hit the max recording. So, doing this fast. There's our cookies. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly sneak a bite in here. Just grab one of the non-icing ones. Mmm. Yummy. Nice and soft. So that is our soft sugar cookies, icing optional, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.